Okay, well, this isn't going to be a very positive one, so you might want to click off now. This is going to be more of a rant, and it's just astounding to me how many on this planet don't, or in this place, don't know what this place is. It's really, I mean, in a way it's not shocking, and in a way it is. I guess they would really have to be paying attention and already be in a very aware state to realize the atrocity and the horror and the absolute abomination that this place is. The fact that there is the degree of malevolence here that there is should immediately be obvious that there is massive fuckery with universal laws. If universal laws were actually being enforced, the malevolence would not be here. They would have already been yanked out of manifested creation. They would have already been ended, terminated. So the fact that they're still walking around in an upright position, well, that's kind of redundant. The fact that they're still upright and using frequency weaponry to torture and rape and other things is like, I don't even know that there's a word for it. And everybody at this point is being affected by the frequency weaponry. It's just that they are so not aware of themselves and of what's occurring on this planet that they don't even realize it. That they too are being affected by the frequency weaponry. They're just not being personally tortured as of yet. The fact that there has been no benevolent intervention should also clue one in that there's some massive fuckery going on that shouldn't be going on. Like, I'm sorry, I have to open the door a little bit because it's very hot. And as much as I fight, and the fighting and the battling that I have to do every day, all day, day in and day out, at this point, over 10 years, that just goes to what I've been talking about and stating in these recordings. So if I'm doing this much battling at my stage of spiritual growth, that doesn't look too good for the rest. And again, I'm not trying to say that it's not coming from an egoic place. What I'm saying is I've had to come into my gifts, skills, and abilities in order to try and protect myself. And the fact that this shit is still going on and being forced without true benevolent intervention and without the universe regulating and helping to enforce universal laws here. It clearly shows how fucking whacked the universe is and how whacked this place is. And it's right now, it's not looking real good for humanity. It's not. And I have done my best to try and assist and come forward with what I know. And there aren't too many benevolent beings actually subscribe to my channel. And out of those who are, I don't know how many of those are, what stage of understanding that they're at. And whether they've taken action or not. The fact that they're trying to seek out the true benevolent life force energy here, the ones who are of Father, and the ones, those of us who have active gifts, skills, and abilities, and they're seeking those ones out and forcing frequency weaponry. Like this whole thing, if it's so obvious, and maybe it's because there's another species that's been torturing me for over 10 years. And maybe that's why it's obvious to me. But that this place is a parasitic farm in where they go about farming humans, and then they don't tell humans. There is no informed consent. The universe doesn't assist. They're using technology to forcibly regress and obstruct universal laws and universal law correction. And they continually try to forcibly regress my progress and the actions that I've taken. When this universe is overrun with parasites, with malevolence, the balance is fucking gone. They have to rape high frequencies and vibrations and try and force those through the fence in order to maintain any semblance of balance, to keep from triggering universal laws. Now, at some point, as they are running out of, and this is in air quotes, food, and the planetary parasite has another agenda, they're not going to be able to continue doing that. And I've already talked about what the, more or less, what the main goal is of the planetary parasite. Like, I guess what I'm getting at is, if beings here have not figured out that this is a parasitic farm, that the planetary entity is a parasite, that the universe actually assists this parasite in torturing, raping, and, harming true benevolent beings, and trying to obstruct them from finding out the truth of things, as well as trying to do anything about anything. It paints a very dark picture. That's a very disturbing, distressing, horrifying picture. And so many just don't want to see those truths. They don't want to see those aspects of this place and of this universe and of those entities. So, as I said, I have tried to assist the best I can, and it just doesn't seem like there must not be that many true benevolent beings that can hear these recordings, I guess. So, I still have to try and focus on helping myself try and get out of this. I don't know about the rest of you, right? Like, I hope that you're doing what you can, taking action where you can, standing in your power and your authority, and trying to get out of this place the best that you can, realizing it for what it is, that it's not rainbows and butterflies and unicorn farts. It's not anything. It's not any of the lies that have been told. They're just that, lies, to keep you, number one, coming back, and to keep you from taking action, to keep you in like lower states of consciousness, to try and obstruct you from finding out the truth of things, to keep you from taking action. That's why those lies are propagated. So it's just more of a rant that with a few strong beings, we can break the fence. And we can actually take action and do something about something. But so many are still sucked into the lies. So many are still sucked into like everyday life. And life is in quotes, because this isn't any kind of some people can love life. They love life. It simply means that they have not been specifically targeted and tortured yet. What they are forcing on me, they want to try and force on everyone. And I've been screaming about this for over 10 years. So, what can you say about it? By the time the majority of beings realize what the fuck is going on, and those are beings who are left, because most have been turned, cloned out, corrupted, hybridized, whatever. It's the ones who are left that there aren't very many of us. And once those ones actually realize what the fuck is going on, it's going to be too late. Most likely, it will be too late, and their heads will already, hopefully it doesn't come to that. I've been doing what I can, taking action where I can to try and deal with what's occurring and affect what's occurring. But it would, it takes it would be really helpful if others we're also in the same place taking action. So if there isn't that, then, I just, what can you do? Yeah, it's just sad that so many have fallen for the lies, and they can't really see what's going on here. And that they pretty much blindly trust what they're told, and they're blindly trusting larger entities that they really do not know. They're trusting false history. They're trusting lies. And the majority of entities, at least in this place and right outside of this place, or still within the frequency fence, are malevolent and using technology. So we've been lied to about many, many, many things. And when you find out that how many lies there are and about how many different things, and you really come to the truth of things, then it's a whole existence takes on a whole different meaning. So obviously I continue to move forward doing what it is that I do, and I'm not seeing really too many others taking larger actions. At some point, this universe will implode. You cannot have this degree of malevolence and lack of balance without correction and not have it implode. Because there's nothing to hold it up. There is nothing to hold it up, especially since they're the beings here. They've pretty much, they've just about tapped out. So I'm just saying, what does a parasite do? And then what does a parasite do after it's done what it's done? Right? And I've been trying to take action with regards to that. And the fact that there's no benevolent assistance or benevolent beings assisting me and helping to support me and helping to protect me and all of that, that's not, that's very, that's indicative of some very disturbing shit. I think this universe is parasitic. And I think it uses smaller parasites as proxies in the AI system to seek out benevolent life force energy in order to then parasitize and cannibalize. And that this universe itself has been trying to evade correction for a very long time via the AI system and parasitic proxy. And it also makes me question, where are all the other true benevolent beings at? All the other true benevolent races? Supposedly in this universe, or just outside of this place, where are they at? Where are they? And why aren't they assisting here? And how is it that there's been no true correction of this place? How is it that this place is still being run and operated this way? In where parasites are running amok with frequency weaponry and technology. And interfering and obstructing universal laws and universal law correction. Like, how is it that that's still going on? How is that even a thing? Like, where are the larger benevolent beings, the larger force, like the larger, like actual benevolent races of beings? Where are they? The creator of this creation, where is he? No true benevolent creator is gonna just sit back in the corner and watch true benevolent beings being hacked into via frequency weaponry by parasites and not do a fucking thing about it. Like, that's not a thing. That wouldn't be a truly benevolent being. Especially to sit back in the corner and not offer any kind of information or guidance or assistance. Especially when this place is not a place of learning, where they're forcibly regressing humanity via technology, and forcibly cloning the masses without their knowledge and consent in order to continue to rape from them. Like, beings here really gotta start looking at some bigger shit. And the logic of what's occurring and what's not occurring. And why there hasn't been correction, and why there hasn't been benevolent intervention, and why universal laws are not being properly enforced. Like, at some point, you gotta take off the glasses and fucking realize how corrupt and insane that this place, whatever this fucking place is. Like, what I'm getting to is, at this point, if you're not screaming to get the fuck out of here, then just don't worry about it. Just, you could probably stop listening to any recordings, because they're not. I don't see how any of these recordings would be assisting you or helping you. Like, if you're not screaming to get out of here yet, if you're not seeing the bigger picture yet, if you're still blindly trusting, or you're still thinking, help is on the way. Like, you know what I mean? How many planets have these bitches fucking destroyed? How many races and species has this parasitic species destroyed up to this point? And those beings didn't get intervention or correction either. Do you see what I'm saying? How many planets have they already destroyed? Like, if you're thinking benevolent intervention is coming or on the way, right? You need to take another look, is what I'm saying. And you need to really be honest with yourself and honest with what the fuck is going on. Like, this is you trying to get yourself the fuck out of here. Unless you just want to be part of another planet that's, you know, got parasites on it. And we can clearly see what the parasites are doing. So if you didn't sign up for that, if you're not screaming to get the fuck out of here yet, if you're not demanding that universal laws be enforced here, if you're not demanding the universe fucking correct, demanding that parasites be removed, they shouldn't be here. And they most certainly shouldn't be here using fucking technology. And they most certainly shouldn't be interfering and obstructing universal laws. So if you're not screaming yet, then just don't worry about it. I mean, I realize people got a lot on their plate, and a lot of this is really heavy stuff, and they don't either have the time or the energy to focus on any of this or to think about it or contemplate any of it. I mean, I understand that. I do. At the same time, the very ones raping you of your energy and your life force and forcing you to do what they call life here are the very ones trying to murder you, right? Like, at some point, you got to make a fucking decision. Shit's fucked. Shit's whacked. You can't fix insanity and you can't fix stupid. Okay? You just can't fix it. The universe isn't going to magically become sane tomorrow. The bitches running this planet aren't going to become sane tomorrow. They're not going to grow a conscience and say they're sorry, right? Like, you get it, right? They're parasites. They're creatures. This is what these creatures do. They try to consume benevolent life force energy. They find planets where benevolent life force energy is, and then they try to use the planet as a host, right? Hopefully you're seeing this in true light. Parasites aren't going to grow conscience. They're not going to wake up tomorrow and say they're sorry and stop doing what they're doing. Like, you got to realize that they're trying to take down the planet, right? They're trying to finish trying to consume what's left here. There hasn't been true benevolent intervention or correction here as of yet. So if there hasn't been correction for all the other planets and all the other places that they've fucking annihilated, it's not looking too good for this one either. Look at the stage that we are at. Look at the state of humanity at this point. And how many actual true benevolent beings are left. Right? Like, hopefully you're taking stock of the actual more factual things and being honest and truthful with yourself and not just living on hopium. Because I'm telling you now that the hopium is just morphine. That's all that shit is. The hopium is morphine. It's to keep you quiet and anesthetized and placated and comfortable. Well, try to make you comfortable. You got to realize it for what it is. That this is a fucking horror show. In reality, it's a parasitic farm and you've been forcibly made food. And you're kept busy with consumerism and shopping and a manufactured society in order to keep you quiet and to try and keep you happy and to keep you from fucking screaming and to try and keep you from realizing what the fuck is going on. They're trying to take it down. Like, I don't know what other, how I can say that in any plainer. That they've already annihilated many other places. Whether this is a flat fucking plane with a dome or a planet or what the fuck ever. Clearly they've done this elsewhere. Okay? Clearly they've done this elsewhere. There is a frequency fence that they use around this place to obstruct or keep out universal law correction and enforcement. So there is an outside to this place. The amount of resources and energy that's not theirs, by the way, that they spend trying to obstruct correction and enforcement is massive. And the thing is they have to turn off that fence. They're going to have to. They'll be forced to. What they're trying to do, it's like a time element. They're trying to force everyone into the AI system and then try to then go to turn off the fence, knowing that they want to, what their goal is they're trying to know that there isn't any embodied truth that contradicts what the atrocity and horror and the lies, cons, and deceptions and massive violations of universal laws that they have committed. They are trying to eliminate embodied truth that contradicts. At some point, they will be forced to turn off that fucking fence. The planetary parasite is trying to move on. Now, most of the subs on my channel, and quite honestly, I was never really looking for subs. What I'm looking for are true benevolent beings who, number one, can truly, that are benevolent and that can hear and understand what I'm saying. You don't have to sub. I'm not in it. I'm not here to try and, like, I'm not so interested in growing the channel as I am people who stop by, understand what's being said, and can take action. I realize that most of the subs on this channel are perps. They're here to do fuckery. They're here to try and force magic on my videos, even though I've refused my consent. They still try to do their fuckery because they're scared out of their little fucking minds. because I'm not backing down. So yeah, most of the subs on this channel are fucking perps. And they'll never, there's a couple here and there that on occasion they'll make a fucking backhanded comment, or like it's like a backhanded compliment and a smack in the face all at the same time. Anyway, I recognize that shit for what it is. They're perps. They're here to do fuckery. It's the ones, every once in a great while, I'll see a true benevolent being comment. And not that I'm wanting people to comment, because they're monitoring my channel, and they monitor the ones who watch my channel. I'm just saying, I already know that most on this channel are perps. There aren't very many true benevolent beings on this subscribe to me. And out of those, I don't know how many actually listen to a recording all the way through and understand, or how much I'm not sure of how much they are seeing and how much they understand. So, I don't know. This was more of a rant today. I don't know really. I've pretty much, most of these recordings, I've tried to expound on details, and I realized that I'm not giving links. I'm not giving any kind of things that I've researched, or because I'm being forcibly fucking tortured. Like my facts, my research is I'm being forced to live it. I'm being forced to experience it. That's where my facts come in. That's where my truth, it's not my truth, the truth. That's where the truth of it comes in. I'm being forced to fucking experience it. Now that, I can't show you proof. No. What I have is, what I'm coming forward with are the things that have been forcibly shown to me. The truths that have been forcibly shown via torture and rape. If they are not resonating, then you move on. If you don't believe those things, if you, those things sound too fantastical or ridiculous or whatever, then you move on. If they don't resonate, you just continue forward and you click on something else that's more positive, right? I'm just saying, I'm being forced to experience the most abhorrent, vile shit. And then what I'm doing is coming forward to tell others what the fuck is really going on here. Okay, so this is getting kind of long. Yeah, they're trying to take down another planet. And then they want to try and move on and just do this somewhere else. And there hasn't been true benevolent intervention or correction as of yet. And if there hasn't been that as of yet, right, as bad as this is, and as massive as their violations of universal laws are, and there hasn't been intervention or correction at this point, right? Can you see what I'm saying? Can you understand? Like, at this point, right? It's pretty much you saving you. I think I have an idea of what happened to the bigger, larger creator beings. I sure do. And it's fucking nasty and abhorrent. It's so abhorrent that I'm not even going to state it or go in or talk about it or go into it. That's for you to, you need to come to that on your own. But I'm just saying, if you were to contemplate and extrapolate, if they're doing this to entire races of beings on planets, what do you think happened to the bigger creator beings in this universe, especially with the universe itself assisting smaller parasites in using AI? What do you think happened? Right? Like, at some point, you just got to be honest with yourself. I know it's abhorrent. It's an abhorrent truth. If you think you're communicating with the creator, that's awesome. Again, I would say you need to be asking those very direct, intentional, explicit, specific questions as to when there's going to be intervention and why there hasn't been intervention yet, and why that benevolent being is still allowing parasites to do what they're doing to benevolent beings who are trying to affect change and trying to help humanity and trying to stop all the horror and the atrocity and the violence and the malevolence and the harm. Why wouldn't that benevolent being be assisting? It's not a benevolent being if he's just standing back in the corner fucking watching. What that is a parasite blowing smoke up your ass and feeding you some hopium. Drugging you up. What was the word? What was the drug I used in the beginning? Not used, but morphine. You're getting your dose of morphine daily or weekly or whatever. They're dragging you around by the nose, by the ear, trying to keep you quiet and trying to keep you hanging on to the carrot, right? Like, the movies that they put out are like movies like Jupiter Ascending and the Chronicles of Riddick. Those have more truth in them than you want to really realize or admit to. And they seem so fantastical that most, if not all, pass those off as just fiction, when they are more of a truth about how this universe has been operated and run, and about how this planet, this place, is being operated and run. Especially Chronicles of Riddick. And actually, Jupiter Ascending is pretty... That also discusses very specific aspects that are very truthful. Especially the statement about more time. That there are entities that will murder, that will commit massive violations of universal laws to get more time. Time is the commodity. Time is of a value that exceeds many things. Chronicles of Riddick showcases the dark group running things on that planet he's on and how they operate and how they try to force compliance. And their manufactured society, social engineering. I'm just saying, I hope if there are any true benevolent beings listening on this channel, that you are clearly seeing what this place is for what it is. And it's going to be you that's saving you. And that you are going to have to fucking be stronger than you ever thought possible. And you are going to have to stand in your full power and your full authority like you had never imagined before. These are parasites. They're creatures. Even though some are in human vessels, they're creatures. And at some point, you have to decide whether you are going to let a creature, a parasitic, nasty fucking creature, dictate to you what's gonna, what they're, what they are trying to do to you. Like I said, at some point you're going to have to make a fucking decision. If you're going to do what a parasite tells you, or you're going to do something else. That is where we're at. You can think that's sci-fi, you can think that's fucking bullshit, whatever. But that is where we're at. That whole 5D bullshit, that's them trying to force you into the AI system. There probably is a real 5D. However, most of those groups and races outside of here, claiming to be benevolent beings, have been raping humanity in order to remain in those higher dimensions. Again, why do you think there has been no true benevolent intervention? They're lying to you because they're using your stuff to stay in those places. They're raping you of your stuff in order to stay in those higher dimensions. While they're trying to do the fucking flip the switch. Get you to believe take the morphine and force you into the AI system and accept a false 5D reality, which is a 5D hell. The higher dimensions, much of the higher dimensions have already been hijacked. And I can't prove that. I have no proof of that, no. What I have is all of the things that I have experienced over 10 years and my experience in dealing with those entities and their lies, cons, and deceit. And a lot of deduction, triangulation, getting the truth that way. Intuiting, going by what's said and what's not said, going by behavior, right? Like connecting dots, that's what I have. So no, I don't have proof. And I've always encouraged others to go to those groups directly and be asking your specific, hard, logical, critical questions to those groups to get your own answers, especially the parasitic entity that is this planet or within this planet. It doesn't really seem like a mother to me. Sure doesn't. And that entity presented itself as mixed with AI. Anything mixed with AI, yeah, well, it did a 360. It sure did, and showed me its true intent and its true machinations. Its true personality, I guess. So, again, you'll have to go. I've always encouraged others to go to those entities yourself and ask your questions. Get to know those entities. Really get to know them. Really, try and spend some time. Because it's your ass on the line. They're going to blow smoke up your ass. They've done it with every prior civilization. This one's no different. They're going to feed you some hopium, some morphine, and they're going to blow smoke up your ass. Try and get you to con you, to get you to believe the con. And then at the end, they force you into a fucking cattle stall. Or try. They try to force you into a cattle stall, into a specific reality, into a specific belief system, into, whatever it is that they're trying to force. It's whether you recognize, how far in advance do you recognize what's being forced on you and what's being forcibly done. Yeah, this is like a science fiction movie. It is. They just throw in some consumerism and some Netflix and whatever. I mean, and then expect you to be good with that and call that life and just accept what they're throwing down the pike. Oh, it's just life. Oh, life is hard, or it just happens, or any number of sayings that they've propagated among this civilization in order to get you to not fight, accept what they're trying to force without question, is what that is. This isn't life. This is slavery. And you're being used as food. While other entities are raping you of your stuff and pretty much, in other words, living high on the hog in other dimensions and other realities and shit. While they use your stuff to try and evade universal laws. So if you're good with that, if you're okay with that, then carry on. But that is so fucking wrong on all levels, in all universes, on all planets, in all dimensions, that I still can't articulate it. So, yeah, real depressing shit. It is real depressing. But when you wake up to the reality of things, would you rather do it now or when your head's on the block? I'm just saying. When would you rather know? Right? Would you want somebody to tell you the truth of things, or would you rather just carry on and find out the horrific truth at the end? Like, I don't know. I guess that'll be a decision you'll have to make. But hope you make it out. Hope the true benevolent, I'm only speaking to true benevolent beings. I'll make sure I state that I'm only speaking to true benevolent beings who are listening, that I hope you make it out. And I hope you have the strength and the courage to fight and stand in your power and stand in your authority and put those parasites, those parasitic whores, where they go, which is non-existence. They've been raping you of your stuff, right? You have to figure out how you feel about that and if you're going to do anything about it. I'm not really sure I've done quite a few recordings on this channel, kind of talking about like the bigger picture stuff and then some of the smaller details. So, I'm not sure that there's going to be too much more that I can really, it's just, I guess it would be more of repeating things. So, and who wants to hear a repeat? I've been working on it, but anyways, I've put out quite a bit of information, or come forward with quite a bit of information. And if that hasn't helped up to this point, right? If that hasn't helped anyone to any real degree at this point, then I just hope you make it out if you're a true benevolent being. So, I'm sorry, I thought there was one more thing I was going to add. Just a moment. Yeah, actually there is. I realize this is a long recording. Sorry about that. Oh well, yeah, I guess you're either going to listen to it or you're not. Some things that might be helpful since they are screwing around so much with your chakra system. You can try taking magnets and getting like some jewelry wire and your lower chakras, and then maybe one for your head. But you can take some jewelry wire, take some magnets and reverse, force them together in reverse. So you take a bunch of magnets, force them together on the jewelry wire, back to back in reverse polarity, and then, secure the ends together to where it's a complete full circle. And then you can either, you can wear one on your head, and you can wear one that is maybe a little bit larger of a circle to cover your first, second, and third and fourth chakra. That does help to interfere with what they're forcing, and it does help to regulate you to some degree. That might provide relief if you're being forcibly tortured. Another thing you can do is vibration. Since they're trying to lower the frequency and vibration of beings here, when you use actual things that vibrate on your chakras, it also interferes with their frequency shit. So if you were to take like one of those head massagers or a massage pillow and put it over, lay it on your chakras and just like maybe lay down for 30 minutes or whatever, and you're using things that actually vibrate on your chakras, that fucks with their shit. That also might provide some relief. temporary relief. If you can find a cave, that's even better. That would be ideal. If you can find a cave to spend some time in, like a few hours at a time, you will find, if you're able to do that, you will find that over those few hours, you will start feeling like yourself. And you'll actually be able to gauge, to measure how much you're being fucked with on a daily basis. Find a cave, spend a couple days, like 4 or 5 hours in that cave, or 3 or 4 hours in that cave for the next 2 days or whatever. And then after that 2 days, you'll have an actual or an accurate measure of how much you're actually being fucked with on a daily basis with the frequency weaponry. And you didn't even know it. Tinfoil, many layers of tinfoil covering the head. Let's say you want to take a nap, right? And you get several layers of tinfoil, put them together, and then kind of just form it around your skull, and maybe take a nap with that on. Like, it can't be done all the time, for obvious reasons, but sometimes in acute situations, it can be of help. Especially if they're attacking specific organs or chakras, use rocks. Find a very thick rock that's not too heavy, that can be placed on whatever organ or chakra that they're trying to target. And hopefully, you all are trying to take your stuff out of all AI systems and technologies, and out of that artificial fucking frequency fence. So, yeah, those are just a couple of things that might be helpful. And I think I'll go ahead and wrap up the recording. And know that you are powerful beings. Know that you have every right to stand in your power and authority. That you have every right to take back what's been raped from you. And to refuse consent for being harmed and raped. And that you have every right to want to leave. You have every right to leave. You have every right to the truth of things. You have every right to informed consent, which they have not done. You have every right to be calling on the universe itself, as well as universal laws for the enforcement, the full, complete enforcement of universal laws in this place. You have every right to be doing that, and we should be doing that. It's because beings have not been doing that is why the state of things is what it is. Because beings have not been doing that. Because they've been believing the lies. So, I do hope that you all, any true benevolent being listening, I hope you do the best you can and take action and make it out of here. All right. Till next time.